Welcome everyone to today's presentation, Funnel to Flywheel, How to Acquire and Retain Profitable Relationships. We'll start in just about a minute. We're going to give it about 1 more minute, and then we'll start our discussion, Funnel to Flywheel, How to Acquire and Retain Profitable Relationships. Welcome everyone to today's discussion, Funnel to Flywheel, How to Acquire and Retain Profitable Relationships. I'm Lori McLaughlin, Chief Marketing Officer at Digital Onboarding. I'm joined by Bob Sterner. He's a National Account Executive with Velocity Solutions, and Adam Westley, Senior Vice President of Partnerships for Digital Onboarding. Next slide, Bob. So Bob is going to take you through some of the challenges in bankings and the ways that our companies can help you solve them. And Adam Westley will join a little later. Tomorrow, you're going to receive an email with a recording of this event. So you can rewatch and share that if you like. There's a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Throughout this conversation, please enter any questions you have and we'll address them at the end. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bob.
Thank you, Lori, and good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here with everyone. I was privy to the attendee list. I've met many of you over the years, know your financial institutions, so glad to be here sharing some thoughts. And again, in my 20 years at Velocity, I've worked with many financial institutions, and Velocity has always been focused on understanding what the unique problems are and then developing solutions to help address. And it's been interesting to watch the last couple of years play out. For the last couple, what's dominated a lot of discussions around checking account strategy is what's going to happen to overdraft, what's going to happen to overdraft, what's going to happen to overdraft. Now, we're still having that conversation, but fortunately in the fall, many of the conversations switched to, we need to grow deposits, we need to grow deposits. So it's been refreshing to be talking about more than, certainly just overdraft, regulatory pressure, concerns there. And so one of the things that's been clear as things have rapidly evolved over the last couple of years, particularly in the digital space and our digital delivery channels, many community and regional financial institutions have spent a small fortune to close that gap between the community institution and the mega institutions. But we're still having some challenges. And a lot of the problems we continue to hear as we engage our clients and our relationships are, one, we definitely need a cheap funding source. We need those low cost deposits. We're still looking for additional revenue. As we continue to evolve and understand, getting the checking account in the door is a part of the battle. we continue to fall short oftentimes of fully getting that new account to adopt our products and services. So we really need to evolve our approach. And many of our clients have had a number of different touch points, digital, manual, over a 30, 60, 90-day process, but many accounts fall through. And so again, we need to optimize that new account relation. We have a lot of loan-only accounts, and they haven't taken advantage of us as a primary financial institution. We have a significant number of checking accounts that we've opened over the years that clearly are not transacting with us. Again, we are concerned about how our revenues are being impacted, whether it's regulatory or market pressure to adjust some fees. We need to get more creative. We need to understand how we can diversify our checking account revenue streams. And lastly, we just have too many checking accounts that are perhaps a one service only. And again, our goal over the next 45 minutes or so is to share a number of thoughts how we can address these problems. Again, the battle for these low-cost deposits, these checking accounts, a significant number, again, of the younger demographic that many of our institutions are after, continue to bank with the biggest four. And in fact, and this is a scary trend for most credit unions and community banks alike, it's a declining number of the younger demographic. So I don't know what the B of A's, the cities, the Chase Wells have to do to continue to get their unfair share of accounts. We need to develop strategy to be able to target these younger segments and get our unfair share of those accounts that are truly frustrated enough to move from one financial home to another. And again, the growth continues with the mega institutions. And then we do have now another threat, these non-bank competitors, these digital banks entering our space. These are the two fastest growing segments of financial institutions. And again, where are these checking account consumers coming from? Unfortunately, our regional community banks and credit unions. So just laying the foundation here of what we're seeing these trends and how we want to adjust. Coupled with the fact, though, that many of our clients do open a lot of checking accounts, and for years and years in our industry, that's what we needed. If we open the checking account, typically a consumer would then adopt the second or third or fourth product or service. Over time, they'd expand their relationship, and because we got that checking account open in time, they would consolidate their banking to us. Unfortunately, that's not how it's working anymore. And so some of the additional challenges just beyond trying to acquire that relationship is, again, many of us have a roadmap for that new relationship that looks something like this, where there's multiple touch points, new account desk training and strategy to try to get as many of those sticky services adopted immediately. If it doesn't happen in the new accounts desk, some sort of roadmap, again, over the first 30, 60, 90 days. And again, the question is, why is onboarding a 90-day strategy? Why is onboarding something that we can't accomplish in the next 48 to 72 hours of opening the checking account? The other thing we want to challenge with some thinking for many of our clients is, why is onboarding simply a strategy over the first 30, 60, 90 days? The other fundamental issue we have with this typical roadmap is things largely stop at the 90-day mark, but many accounts slip past this, and we don't have an ongoing strategy. So one of the things that we want to challenge is the definition of onboarding for all of us should no longer be a new accounts 30, 60, 90-day strategy. It should be a for the life of the account strategy, 6.9 years on average of a checking account life in our industry. Then you expand beyond this, many institutions also cling to the product of a checking account as the answer to getting a lot of this done. And so many institutions, and look, we step on toes every day. We're here to challenge some thinking. Already had several checking accounts that they offer various services, pricing strategies, etc. But there are vendors out there that are promoting, hey, what are the ways that we can address? We can attract more consumers. They'll be sticky from day one. And they come to financial institutions and say, why don't you add yet another checking account? And we can package all kinds of services and exciting things, and we can even monetize that account. It's so great, we'll call it awesome. But let's not stop there. We want to give consumers even more choice. We'll upgrade an account even further. We'll call it amazing for yet another fee. And you get a sense I'm leading here. One of the major findings here is the checking account is not the relationship anymore. And is this really the strategy to continue to add more and more checking accounts as the answer for our strategy for 2023 and beyond? Because I know a lot of successful financial institutions that have actually consolidated their checking accounts down to one or two basic utility type accounts, depending on how much you keep in that checking account really drives which one. And there's such operational benefit to this, more time with that brand new account holder to really understand their needs and identify which additional services that they ultimately need. And this is all predicated, well, let me take a step back. And these are the challenges why. We acquire a lot of checking accounts at the community level, but unfortunately, these people don't take advantage of the service to the extent. We have attrition issues on these new accounts over a period of time, and they certainly don't view us as their primary financial institution. So a lot of what I'm sharing here was validated in an independent study. Velocity's got 40 million checking accounts in our database. We understand everything down to the penny, but it was good to have some independent validation through Cornerstone, one of the most reputable analysts in our industry. And they actually coined this focus on understanding the existing relationship or lack thereof as the reacquisition imperative. And this is a great white paper. You can download it right on our website. A pretty good read, a lot of data driving this. But the major findings in this are a couple things. First, as I said, the checking account no longer matters as the main relationship. That's the utility we have to have. But the relationship now with the consumer is this: how I view my activity, i.e. online and mobile, and how I transact my funds. One of the biggest things they found in this study is we as community and regional financial institutions, we have got to understand this debit card is not a standalone product like the credit card. We have got to stop letting processors dictate our strategy. The debit card is the modern day version of cash and check. It's the heart and soul of that checking relationship. And we have to win the transactional war at any cost. That's how you jumpstart the relationship. Of course, then getting these other sticky products and services adopted in a very efficient way is key to truly owning that relationship and having that consumer view you as their primary financial institution. And how do we back this up? Velocity is data-driven to our core. I'm going to give you a quick case study. This is a financial institution prior to partnering with Velocity to change the segmentation or the relationship of the account. So let me walk you through this briefly. So this particular financial institution, you can see these are checking accounts, 62,000 checking accounts. What we've done, this isn't debit card data, we're using POS activity as a segmentation tool of the accounts. And this really surprised this financial institution, and something that we do for any relationship we have on a daily basis is this degree of segmentation. First of all, we could find 32% or 32,000, half of their open active consumer checking accounts weren't transacting on the #1 transaction device in our industry. Then they had a segment of what we coin light users, 1 to 5 swipes per month, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, 16 to 20 swipes per month. And then what we coin heavy, 21 or more times per month. As a starting point to strategy to identify where we need to put some energy behind converting a segment is where this gets so clear. We love debit interchange, we love swipe activity. For this financial institution, 28% of their accounts, these heavy users, 17,000 accounts, were driving 90% of their swipe activity, 86% of their spend. And by default, because they're the heaviest users of the financial institutions, 60% of the NSF overdraft revenue. If you monetize this, this is where it gets staggering. I don't want to look to introduce new fees. If we address the subsidy issue, look at the disparity. For those 72% not transacting or light transactors, only generating about $40 in NSF overdraft revenue per year versus $154 for our heavy users. Look at interchange. We all love interchange. $277 coming from 28% of the account, $17 for everyone else. When you total up these two revenue streams that continue to be the bulk of the revenue tied to a checking account, $431 per year coming from 28% of the accounts versus $57 for everyone else. I'll take it beyond just the revenue. Another sample set of data. This revenue relationship still exists, but take it beyond that. Look at balances. Look at cross-sell. Look at retention. Everything we value in checking account strategy is skewed by these heavy users. So again, it doesn't probably take much to understand where we're going with this. Not only do we want to address these brand new relationships in the most efficient way, we have some amazing opportunity, coin the reacquisition imperative, to go back and address our non and low use accounts and go win that relationship. So I wanted to give you this foundational information, and now we're going to transition to what we actually do about this. So again, Velocity has a data engine called the Velocity Intelligent Platform, the VIP platform, that gets various data files from our clients. We're truly able to break down these silos that even our largest, and we have 24 institutions over the 10 billion threshold that have whole teams of analysts, they have data warehouse, all kinds of access to data, tell us what you can put your finger on today would take us weeks to get together. And by then it's too late to even get the strategy because things have already changed. So this breaking down the silo allows us to look at these existing accounts, the relationship or lack thereof, and be able to take a scalpel to the marketing and really be able to direct one-to-one digital offers to be able to convert these relationships. So we have a number of predefined strategies. These are all a la carte. We have many clients that are doing all of these. Some start with one and expand, but we're focused on the front end. One of the most efficient things that we've found to add to our clients' account acquisition efforts. Like we have very successful clients that we're working with. They are doing a number of different marketing campaigns to attract new accounts to the financial institution. They have branches, they're involved in their community, they have great brands. But the one thing that we did find, if we could truly bring the referral component into the digital age and automate the entire process, it is a significant supplement to our clients' account acquisition efforts. So we're also finding these accounts that come through referral are a much stickier account from day one. These consumers are not responding to the latest bribe or gimmick. These are people that are actually coming because they're frustrated enough with their current situation to move their entire financial relationship. And the data is consistent through our industry that accounts that come through the referral channel are much stickier from day one and much more profitable over time. In addition to trying to bring in these relationship style accounts, we want to make sure that, again, we have strategies to efficiently onboard, not over the first 30, 60, 90 days, but within the next 48, 72 hours. So our early engagement strategies. Our third is designed to help win the transactional war. These accounts that have been with us maybe 3 months or 3 years, we want to be mining the data daily to identify where there's accounts that aren't transacting, or perhaps once were heavy and maybe backsliding, and be able to target these consumers with a clear call to action for incremental use. We are able to create a third new revenue stream. We've piggybacked off of credit card style type programs with a program called My Rewards Premium Cards, designed to have a tiered debit card strategy. And lastly, what about all these other products and services? For accounts that have been with us for a period of time, What about people that still haven't signed up for e-statement or online banking, or perhaps never gave us a Reg E decision? So we have our relationship strategies to round out our overall platform and strategy. So I wanted to just give you a brief video, get a break from my voice for just a moment to walk you through sort of the high notes of our digital acquisition component. I just got to note that the sound's not coming through. Bear with me here one moment. Lori, it's not allowing me to play the sound there, so I'll just continue.
Okay, I apologize for that.
No worries. So the digital account acquisition strategy actually leverages a number of social media components. Through the technology, it allows consumers to actually have a unique referral code that they can publish to friends and family through various social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. They can email, they can text with a clear call to action to come open checking accounts. The system's designed to automate the entire process. There is a series of thank yous involved, including one of the best practices is even giving a gift card to that existing account holder and to that new account that's opened. And again, through these digital means, we're able to supplement our clients' account acquisition efforts and get a significant bump in incremental openings through the channel. And many financial institutions have had referral programs over the years, but a lot of the pain points, extremely manual, limited to perhaps just in-branch type communication. We are able to really bring this into the digital age to, again, help our clients get their unfair share of these consumers who are really frustrated with their current financial institution and come open checking accounts. So once we get the open checking account, whether through the digital referral or the various other means that our clients are opening, then we want to immediately be able to start the digital process to get them completely onboarded. And so with this, I'm going to transition over to my partner here, Adam, that's going to lead us through the actual a live demo of the technology to help onboard a new account holder. And so again, this is highly configurable, as Adam will point out as we get into this. So let me stop share and I'm going to transition this over to Adam.
Thanks, Bob. I will share my screen here real quickly with you. 1 second. All right, so let's get started. So what we're going to walk you through today is a quick demonstration of our account opening workflow. So what will happen after this, users just opened a brand new checking account. And what we're looking to do is get engaged with them immediately. So this is a core element of the digital onboarding platform. One of the main use cases that typically our customers come to us with this problem. And so we'll walk you through it today. So I've just opened a brand new checking account at this financial institution. I've received an email that's guiding me to a customized personal journey. So let's click and get started. So what you're seeing here, let me just sort of orient you around the screen. This microsite is completely unique to me as an individual. So not only is it directed towards me like with the personalization, but each of these steps up at the top are unique to me depending on the type of account I've opened and also processes I may have completed in the past. So this is a brand new relationship to the financial institution. So I've completed none of these efforts, but let's just say it was a subsequent checking account. Instead of having maybe 7 steps up here, I may have 5 because I may have already completed online banking or mobile banking. And so I'd see a little bit of a different workflow. We also try and gamify the process with our little progress wheel up here in the upper right-hand corner. This can also change to a monetary value. So as Bob goes through some of these different elements, as he's going through the demo or through the rest of the slides, he'll talk a little bit about some of the rewards and incentive programs that Velocity brings to the table that we can incorporate into this workflow, which really help incentivize the user to actually take these actions and complete the things that are really important to your institution. As a first step here, going to be asking them to get consent for text messaging. Many financial institutions will remember how hard it was to get email consent once you had these accounts and email became such a predominant channel. We encourage all of our institutions to get this consent right now, even if you're not texting for marketing efforts today. Text messages are such a powerful channel. We find so many great use cases and better outcomes when you're utilizing this as a communication vehicle. And again, if you're not using it today, just getting that consent right away when you do decide to do it at a later time is really important. So here I'll just enter my cell phone number. I'll hit submit. I will get a text message in the background that will then allow me to verify that I have ownership of that cell phone number as well, right? So now we've not only got consent, but we have verified that they actually have possession and control of this. The next step in this is going to be direct deposit. So as an industry, we know how important direct deposit is. Typically, wherever your paycheck is going is where you view your primary financial institution. So as a company, we do not care how you get direct deposit put in place. We really just want to encourage them to take that behavior and give them all the information they need. So we're going to give them a couple options here. This is typically one of the major points of friction that you find, whether you open an account online or you open an account in a branch. You typically need your account number to sign up for, or you do need your account number to sign up for direct deposit. You're likely going to need it at other phases as well, right? You're going to need it within your, enrolling in online banking and mobile banking and perhaps other services as well. So at this point, the consumer runs into a point of friction. Now, if they didn't write the account number down when they opened the account online, or maybe they got a piece of paper when they left the branch, but they left it at home and they're now at work trying to move direct deposit, they're stuck. Often when you call the financial institution, they're unable to share it to you over the phone, and they're going to tell you either come into a branch or wait for a piece of paper in the mail. And at that point, you kind of lost the consumer. So here we're able to securely reveal that account number, do some multi-factor authentication. So I will get a cell phone number, a code sent to my email. I'll copy that over. Apologies. And we will enter it right here. When I enter it in, it will then authorize me to have that account number. Now, everywhere else in this journey where I need that account number, you'll see it again. So you'll see it again when we get to the online banking page as well, because they'll need it there. So just this alone allows the consumer to self-service. This is what's so powerful about our platform. We don't just tell the user to do something, we actually help them get the job done, right? It's not enough to tell them about your digital tools. It's not enough to ask them to do these specific services. We need to help them get the job done. So here they're able to self-service, but we also have our direct deposit widget. So if I click here, I will get the option to set up my direct deposit through a couple different things. So if I work in the gig economy, we support those. I can search for my employer. Lots of people do know their payroll providers because they are common companies like ADP, Workday, Paychex. And I can also look at some of the more popular ones. Here I'll search for an employer. When I click on that, I'm just going to enter my credentials that I would use for my logging into my payroll system or my HR system. When I enter that in, I'm going to get some options. So I can choose the entire amount, percentage, specific amount. I'll choose the entire amount, hit continue and confirm. We store all this information on the back end. So what's so great about this is within the analytics side of our platform, you can see that a user maybe moved their paycheck, but they only moved 50%. So there's an opportunity to go back at them with direct deposit to try and engage them and get the rest of the information. So now that I've got direct deposit in there, such an important part of that primacy, we want to continue down this journey and let's start making sure they use their card. So on this one, we're going to ask the user to get their card set up at some major retailers and subscription services. So you'll see here some options for them to look at different ones. I'm just going to select a couple that I use quite often. Amazon, Apple Store are two that I use. Hit continue. I'm going to enter my card detail one time. And when I do that, it's going to allow me to set it up at each one of these organizations. Now, I don't know about you, but the only time I ever change my card at Amazon is when I'm in a purchase workflow. I don't often go in there and change my debit card. I don't have the first clue how to change it on the Apple Store. There's probably a whole bunch of other ones like Netflix and Hulu and other subscription services where, again, I don't access them very frequently and wouldn't know how to change them. So this just makes it much simpler on the user, takes some friction out of the process, and starts getting us that interchange revenue. As Bob showed you, so critically important to have them using their debit card and actively pursue or utilizing your services for that. So we want to make sure that we make this as simple and easy as possible. And again, we can put some reward structures around this, which will allow them to really encourage that behavior. The next step in this is going to be online banking. So we'll give them some options here. Again, we've exposed that account number or a member number if it was a credit union. We allow them to go right to the enrollment screen to enroll in online banking and get the job done very easily. For mobile banking, a little bit different. What happens with mobile banking, we'll show them some of the features and capabilities, of course, of the platform. What I see oftentimes is when you navigate to somebody's website, you'll see a link for the Apple Store and you'll see a link for the Google Play Store. Now I'm on my desktop, and so clicking on a link to go to the Apple Store is not going to do me a whole lot of good. It's going to take me to a page that I can't actually utilize. So if we were on a mobile device, we would just see a big install now button. It would take us to the right store and we'd be able to get that app. But since I'm on my desktop, I want it on my cell phone. So what I do here is I can enter my mobile number and send myself a link, or I can show them a QR code, which they hover over and it'll take them right to the appropriate place on the App Store. Funny enough, I have to search for apps quite frequently because we do a lot of custom demos and we show this kind of capability and how it takes them to the right app on the App Store. And oftentimes financial institutions have multiple apps or similar names, and they're very hard to find the right and correct app. So what we find here is this just takes some friction out of the process and makes it so much easier for the user. The next step in this one is going to be our enrollment widget. So we're going to use this in the context of e-statements. We could also use it for Reg E decisions, pre-approved offers, gap insurance. There's a lot of different use cases here, but I'll show you in the context of e-statements. Again, we want the user to complete this however they want to. So if we want them to log in and enroll in e-statements, we can definitely direct them back. But what's better than just getting them to take the action right here in the platform without taking them outside that journey? So what we'll do here is we'll allow them to click yes and put in their information, their first name. If you notice here, when I hit submit, I'm unable to hit submit because I haven't yet viewed the terms and conditions. So it's an important factor around that e-sign regulation to make sure that they do view those terms and conditions. So again, once I view those, I'm able to then hit that submit button, and now we've collected that consent. We have webhooks within our platform that will immediately return this back to other downstream platforms. So if you need this within your digital banking application, or if you store consent within the core, you can use those webhooks to update those systems as well. The last step is that this is going to be a survey. One thing we can do here when we go through this survey is we can ask them some questions like, what other financial needs do they have, right? So maybe somebody's interested in an auto loan. And we can also ask them if they were satisfied with the process and hit submit. Within our platform, we're actually able to push this messaging, within our platform, we're actually able to take those answers and derive another journey at the back half of it. So if a user says, hey, I'm really interested in an auto loan right now, we can have a journey immediately triggered to give them information about our auto loans. And that journey can be completely customizable. So it could have specifics if we know what their credit profile looks like. We could give them specific rates and other information, driving that cross-sell opportunity based on the information that they provided us. So many powerful use cases here. And I'll turn it back over to Bob.
Really, really good stuff, Adam. Let me share screen here. I love the front end capability. So we've talked about how do we acquire more checking accounts through a digital channel, through a digital referral strategy. We've now talked about how we optimize that brand new account and how we can really compress down what has traditionally been a 30, 60, 90-day process through a digital experience that really addresses the key friction points to get that adoption quickly. Now, what about these accounts that have been with us for years? And so part of the VIP platform allows us to segment out on a daily basis the activity at the account level and determine if we need to target for incremental activity. So this is the start of onboarding that maybe account that's been with you for several years that clearly is not banking you as their primary financial institution and winning this transactional war. So there's strategies, again, to be able to segment out your accounts and tailor an offer based on previous activity to ask for a clear call to action. If we know a consumer's been at 0 transactions, let's just get them to go to 5 or more times. And I wish these people would just magically do it because we all ask. You all know that's not how it works. So coupling it with an incentive, something like a $10 gift card, does get that call to action completed. And we start to see that we get this incremental use out of the account. But this isn't a one-off campaign that we do occasionally. This is an integrated strategy that we continue to do continually until we get those accounts up that usage curve. Because over time, it's a small percent of the accounts that we can move out of that non and low use segments into that heavy user segment that has material incremental use, revenue, and increase in account balances that we're all looking for. As the debit cards won the day, we've also recognized there's ways to enhance the debit card the value of the debit card. And so it's been interesting to watch how we've done rewards in our industry for 15 years, where by default, it was the heaviest users that got the value, but there was very little incremental use to the financial institution. Someone that's already swiping 40 times a month and you offer rewards, well, maybe they could do it 2 or 3 more times, but that wasn't another 75 at the pump or 150 at the grocery store. It was maybe another McDonald's type transaction. So we've recognized we cannot eat up our interchange to fund these rewards to consumers that are already doing everything we can. But it's been interesting to watch the data and the surveys that a lot of consumers do want rewards on their debit card. And what we're finding is, because consumers have been conditioned for years and years on the credit card side, people understand tiered plastic. They also understand that if you want rich credit card type rewards, you pay for them. Most credit cards with rich rewards are fee-based cards, but no one has brought this to the debit card, the heart and soul of the relationship, recognizing that many consumers, just have one option on the debit card. Yet many of these consumers, they don't want the credit card. They want the debit card to be their transaction device. So our clients continue to have that basic free card just like they have today, but there's many institutions out there now that are offering a tiered type debit card strategy. They use things like a gold card and a platinum card that they actually charge a monthly fee for these upgraded cards. Why would a consumer pay for an upgraded debit card? The same reason consumers pay for an upgraded credit card, the associating rewards, additional benefits. This can also successfully be done on the business side as well. Why do our clients really like this? Most of our clients aren't big fans of just feeing people to feed people. This is something that we offer as an option to upgrade to, and the consumer gets significant value, significant return on their monthly investment. So some of these benefits you've seen in our industry through package add-ons or even embedded in the checking account, the key here is we're not forcing them to change their checking account to get access to this. In fact, they don't even need a new debit card number. We're simply tagging the correct benefit package to the piece of plastic so they can get this incremental benefit, the rewards, etc. And that's a key barrier that we are able to overcome, and why we get good adoption of this. Again, it's not a new checking account. Switching checking accounts is difficult. Even switching debit card can be a real barrier. None of our clients have even had to set up separate bins for any of these, but it's a way to add a new revenue stream tied to the debit card. That monthly fee collected has a portion clean and clear as a brand new revenue stream to our financial institutions. And lastly, we talked about the opportunity to go beyond just the transactional that relationship that we're looking for out of existing accounts. What about all these other sticky services? Adam showed a great walkthrough of what it looks like from a new account standpoint, but could we just take pieces of that and target our existing base that perhaps never signed up for e-statement? Or perhaps we have a segment of accounts that never responded to an opt-in request, yes or no. Or perhaps we have accounts that don't even have a debit card, and we'd like to target them to enroll in a debit card, and then we want to make it really easy for them to activate it. So we can send separate journeys through this front-end interface based on the data that we're seeing through the VIP platform to request the activation of the card on file, mobile wallet, get that Reg E disposition, take a brief survey. So again, this is our way to also be able to segment out and identify where there's a lack of relationship with accounts that perhaps have been with us for years and be able to target them digitally. We've seen fantastic results through the digital onboarding front end versus what our clients have done historically, even when they were attempting to do it digitally. Significant difference. And Adam indicated one of the keys is not just sending something via email or text. The journey, that microsite, really has to make it easy for the consumer. It can't have a step that requires them leaving to complete it. Anytime someone leaves, we're losing the opportunity. So by keeping them in the journey, making it easy to complete it, significant lift in the adoption of these products and services that we're after, not only at the new accounts desk, but again, these existing accounts that we've had for years and years. Now, this is where it really gets neat in how we pulled this partnership together. Velocity's had this data engine that can segment out, break down these silos, and identify where we need to push. Digital onboarding has a really slick front end that can send these individual journeys to be able to target and break down the friction to get maximum response. But we also then, through the Velocity Digital Onboarding partnership, have the ability then to couple an incentive into all of this. And so Velocity offers a completely white labeled, mobile responsive digital experience that has all kinds of different options for incentives. What's popular these days, keep it simple, for example, is digital gift cards. But what we're really excited about, and we also already have some very, very sizable financial institutions that we're testing, not just Velocity's data engine and being able to tailor the digital experience to the correct individual at the right time, but coupled with an incentive to get maximum response. So a couple things that we're actively doing, and for example, okay, great, we can send out that digital journey for a new account to onboard, as Adam walked us through. But what we're testing now today, couple that with a $25 gift card to complete that digital journey within 72 hours of opening the account. Can we not only get them to complete that journey at a much higher rate, but can we compress that time frame from maybe 30, 60, 90 days down to the next 72 hours? We're also coupling this with when we ask for someone to sign up for a debit card that doesn't have one, or various other ways that we can leverage not just the data engine, not just the front-end digital journey, but the incentive to get maximum response. So it's this complete product through all these components. And again, a white labeled mobile responsive experience, keeping it all digital yet again, that allows our clients to offer incentives tied to these journeys to get the response they're looking for. And what's the response I keep referring to? I want to share this case study. This is a financial institution for just over 5.5 years. We're targeting simply these non-loose accounts for the incremental activity. And so you can see this was the baseline prior to doing this was 2015 data, where they're at in 2022. They've had a significant increase, not just in the total accounts, but even more increase in the existing accounts that they've had. So they've had significant increase in overall spend per account. swipes. And one of the biggest wins here for this financial institution, we had to create another category called very heavy users, 41 plus times per month. This segment increased for them over this period of time by 88%. But what's really interesting, their individual spend increased by 170%. Why is this so relevant? What are we looking for right now? We're looking to bring in new relationship style accounts that bring in new core deposits for us and new fee income for us. But this financial institution, one of their problems, they needed low cost deposits. They were looking for additional revenue. And without even having to acquire a new account, over this period of time, they were able to add 8.5 million in incremental revenue and another 37 million in account balances by simply winning this transactional war. So our first challenge that we are trying to solve for, but in summary, we are also hoping to solve our onboarding efforts. So in this unique partnership that we've created here, not only having the slick digital journeys to make it really easy and frictionless for that new account holder, coupled with the data engine and the incentive to get maximum response to really compress this down and get many more people through the onboarding experience in a short period of time. We have ways to target loan-only account holders to maybe get them to sign up for e-statement, other things, but also convert a portion of those to having a checking relationship to us, a thing that is very important to many credit unions and a lot of community banks that have these loan-only relationships. This constant monitoring the data and targeting these non and low use accounts has got them up the usage curve and is helping our clients win the transactional war. Without seeing most of your data, I bet some of you, your current heavy users are in the 25 to 35% range of your overall total consumer open active accounts. We have clients that are north of 50%. That alone has driven up their revenue and their core deposits without even having to bring in a new account. And lastly, we're concerned about the pressure, particularly on overdraft. Why I love this is we're addressing the subsidy issue. We've all known it's that 80-20 rule banking, 20% of the accounts are driving 80% of the activity and 80% of the revenue. Well, if we can expand that 20% to 30%, 40%, 50%, there is significant incremental revenue, even in arguably a declining fee environment. Our clients aren't the ones that have to be the lead in introducing a new fee to offset any reduction in a current fee. They're making it up in volume. And finally, we obviously have the ability through these, again, individualized digital onboarding journeys, coupled with an incentive to really go after these accounts that maybe only have one or two relationships and consolidate, truly consolidate their banking to us. Lori, that's what I think we had for you all this afternoon. I forgot to mention here, we had the slide in. How do we know that we're winning it? This is another part of the deliverable. This VIP platform I've been referencing is the data engine to be able to segment out. It's also the utility on a daily basis to get down to the penny to know that you're actually getting this incremental lift to justify the cost, the effort, et cetera, to go after this type of strategy. Lori, I'll turn this back to you.
Great. We're going to do a quick poll question, and then we've gotten a bunch of questions throughout this presentation. So the question is, would you like a custom demo for your institution to learn about the products and solutions that Bob and Adam have talked about today? We'll give you a few seconds there to answer. And Nicole, you can cut off that poll whenever you think we've reached the end. All right, so now I'd like to ask some of the questions that were entered into the chat. Bob, this first one's for you. The case study that you just shared, do you recall the asset size of that institution?
It's in a couple billion range. I don't know it down to the penny, but it is a financial institution in New York State, several billion in assets.
Okay, great. The next question, and I believe the question, and feel free to chat in to clarify if I get this wrong. I believe they're talking about the digital onboarding platform and Velocity solutions. The question is, these products seem similar and even competing with one another. Are they supposed to work in conjunction?
Yeah, Adam, I'm glad to take that. Hopefully we address that towards the end, but no, this is what we're so excited about. Velocity's had this incredible data engine. We're breaking down these silos. We know the behavior we need to address and win over. We have the incentive platform to get the response. This partnership with the digital onboarding front end has just brought us a way to communicate with consumers that Velocity didn't have. So no, this creates significant synergy. What our clients love about this approach, this is not a new product. We're always, all of our clients have their own unique approach to product and pricing. We're agnostic to the checking accounts. We're agnostic to the products. We're trying to drive use, and use is what drives everything of value for our clients.
Yeah, well said. Okay, this next question is for you, Bob, as well. So you talked about a lot of the ways that Velocity and digital onboarding can help. The question is, can we use just one or two, or we need to buy everything?
Great question. No, the strategies are a la carte. Obviously, the more you do, the more impact we can have. We do have several financial institutions that like to partner on several and then stage it out, or there's some that like to start on one or two, and over time, when they're seeing the results, add more as they go. So no, these are standalone solutions.
All right, next question. Does this integrate with existing digital banking platforms, or is it a specific platform from you?
You want to speak to that one, Adam?
Yeah, I'll take that one. So, so essentially what we do is we're creating those microsites through our platform. They are unique individual microsites, so that is generated by us. We have the ability to reach out to the individual via text message and email to draw them into those microsites, but we also now can deliver messaging into digital banking platforms as well. So that kind of follows the user around, right? We're sending them emails, text messages, we're giving them those microsites, but then we're also reminding them about those actions, and we're able to facilitate them completing those actions within digital banking platforms as well. So. Yeah,
and Adam, I know just to get back to the question, an integration is not required to use the digital banking platform. So I just wanted to make it clear. All right, final question. This is for you, Bob. Who is the provider of the optional services such as cell phone protection?
Yes, Velocity provides all of that as part of the package, including any of the reward fulfillment. We're an interesting company that's evolved over the last 30 years that we actually handle all the fulfillment of the strategies as well.
Great. Well, that's all we have. Just as a reminder, you're all going to get an email tomorrow with the video with instructions on how to follow up if you're interested. Thank you so much for joining us, and a special thanks to Bob and Adam for presenting today. I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you all.
Thanks all.